last fifth game of a tough road trip, and you know, with this team just growing every step of the way, finding ways to get the job done. It's today it was kind of mind over matter in a sense. Physically, I know physically I know some fatigue has set in, but we pushed through that and we're able to have a decent fourth quarter to push us over the hump a little bit, and happy with our effort and just happy to be going home with a successful road trip.
Great, thanks. We'll start off here with a question from Jeff Brown. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, Coach, what does it say about your team that you were able to go on the road for 5 games in 8 days and win all 5 games?
Yeah, it says a lot about us. We're a resilient group. We're trying to figure it out, within the games, and every night we figure, something new about us. Tonight it was again just the resiliency that we showed, just the fortitude, just to push through on a game, having spent a lot of days on the road. It's, we're kind of midway through the season, and understanding that a road trip like this, usually in the W, sometimes you come through a game like this and you don't prevail just because of some fatigue, mentally or physically. But, this team has showed that they're professional in what they do. They've locked in and just, getting the job done.
Definitely. And then, so how important are these next few days before Tuesday's game against Washington? Like, how do you approach that with the team as far as like how much rest compared to getting back into like full intense practices?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fine balance, just because, we've been on such a long road trip. We do have to fine tune some things, but also we understand that rest is important. Sometimes it's about working smarter, not harder. And I think with this group, we found ways to get better through film and things of that nature, but also having an opportunity to be on the floor with one another is, essential to our growth as well and our development. And so yeah, it's great that we're able to rest a little bit as well as get some work in preparation for a very important stretch as well.
And then in this game, Tierra McCowan, she had 11 points for 5 in the first half, but you guys held her to just 13, so just 2 points in the second half. What were the keys to limiting her there?
Yeah, I thought early on she was getting too deep and without much resistance. And I understand that Tierra is a difficult matchup. She presents great size and just her ability to bury us underneath the brim. And I think what we kind of honed in on more in the second half was just making sure she saw a little bit more bodies, but I think just making it tougher on the catch. And not letting her get so deep so early. Also, I think our pressure picked up. I think a big part of that is pressuring the ball and having, making it hard for those passes to get in there. So, and then again, obviously offensively, she's a good offensive rebounder, but only had one today. So, just locked in a little bit more on our schemes with her.
Nice. And then just last one from me. We saw Coach Dan Hughes in the crowd with his wife, Mary. Did you get to talk with him and anything he said to you?
No, just kind of waved and, gave him that that sign. It's so good to see him. He's obviously an amazing guy and a big part of what we've done here. So his presence was felt for sure. And obviously Mary always by his side and just two great human beings. So hopefully I get a chance to talk to him if he's still around, but just definitely made eye contact. And again, so good to see him.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Coach. We got a question here from Percy. Go ahead, Percy.
Awesome. Hey, Coach, could you tell if your team was fatigued? And if so, how did that show itself?
Yeah, I think in the beginning, just kind of our pace was a little bit slower. No sense of urgency, not kind of, just not as sharp as normal. But also it's important to understand, like, Indiana is not a bad team. You know, I know, again, their record, you know, doesn't indicate that, meaning, I'm saying bad, not bad, meaning they have difficult matchups. McCowan is difficult matchup. Both Mitchells are difficult matchups. Breland is a vet, Janta a vet. And so, you know, we may, you know, on the paper, it looks like we should be blowing them out the water, but it was just, you know, we had to hone in a little bit. We had to dig a little deeper. And I think there was some fatigue in that manner. But again, we're dealing with consummate professionals, and you just kind of find a way to get through that and push through that mental fatigue, physical fatigue, and find a way.
You know, and then for the second straight game, at least on the outside in, it seems as if the game turned on a fourth quarter timeout substitution. Guys were down, you guys were up 3, and then you hit them with a 10-1 run. So during that timeout, you said what, and the things that you saw during that run were what?
You know, during that timeout, we kind of locked in a little bit on our scheme. I think we stopped moving the ball a little bit as well. So just kind of getting back to our flow. And I can't remember what happened so necessarily. I know that we had an advantage in the post with our guard post up, but we might have gotten an attack to the rim. Whatever it was just basically locking in and, you know, moving the ball offensively and defensively, making sure that our schemes were correct to finish out the game, that everyone was on the same page in that moment.
Hey, and then just a thought on just the night by Stewie. I mean, just another sort of dominant effort, but these things are kind of becoming sort of the commonplace for her.
Yeah, you know, we've all seen it, you know, the maturation of Stewie, and obviously understanding that she is a winner in everything that she does, the work that she puts in off the floor. You know, for me, she's never had an off season, but she's always constantly putting in the work. She wants more for herself. She always wants to be coached. She wants to be pushed. She wants to be challenged. And in those moments, you understand why she's as great as she is, because she's able to get a bucket when you need, get a rebound when you need, get a stop when you need. And, you know, we are all witnessing greatness, obviously, but it's no surprise to me because of the work that she puts in and who she is as a person. She wants more all the time.
Awesome, Coach. Thank you.
No problem.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Coach. It looks like we don't have any more, so you're good to go.
All right. Thanks, guys.
And we'll have Katie, Lou, Stewie, and Sue.
Is that yours?
Yeah.
We're ready.
Well, hey, Lou, thanks for being here. Sorry, my cat is yelling if you can hear her. But we have a question here from Percy Allen. Go ahead, Percy.
Awesome. Hey, Lou, I'm just from like your perspective, it says what about this team to go on this type of a road trip, 5 wins by double digits each game?
Yeah, you know, we really grinded it out this trip. It was long, a lot of games away from home, but you know, we were just focused every game. They weren't all pretty, but we got better every day.
Do you think a trip like this could be like, you know, and it's so hard to say, but could be the thing that you look back on and say that's when it all sort of came together, that when we went through this difficult road trip and we got 5 wins?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all know that we have a lot of room to grow in and improve on. You know, we see things every game within ourselves that we can fix and we can get better at. And
All right.
but yeah, we see things every game that we can fix and get better on. And I don't think it's necessarily a, you know, this is it. Like we got through this, we know what we're doing now. I think we know we still have a lot of room to grow, and it's a long season ahead of us.
Were there times out there tonight that you could tell that your team was tired? And if so, that looks like what?
I mean, it just, for us, when we're tired, we just got to dig deeper. We got to communicate more. We got to make sure that our scout and our our minds are more focused than anything.
All right, Lou. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks. We have one more, looks like, from Jeff Brown. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, Katie Lou. So you shot 80% today, 4 for 5. Do you think sometimes you're not shooting enough out there? Because it seems like, I don't know. I mean, obviously when you're shooting that well, like, it could seem like you could be a little bit more aggressive, or how do you look at it?
I mean, I think there's moments where, I feel like I can be more aggressive myself, but I'm very much trying to, make sure that we get the best shot down the court every single time. Yeah, I mean, I shot good today. Could have shot more, could have shot less, I don't know.
And then I've noticed this kind of recently with you and Talbot, but I think it was you today. We're taking advantage of some smaller mismatches down in the low post. Like, how important is that to add that to your game where you can take advantage of that?
Yeah, it's really big. I think, for us, we're both bigger guards in this league, and, we're going to have opportunities where we are in positions to get a mismatch. And if we can get easy buckets like that, we can really help the team out.
And this was a pretty grueling, 5 games in 8 days. How important is it to have you guys now, I think, have 4 days off before Tuesday's game against Washington? Like, how important is it to just rest and recover? And what all do you have to do, I guess, there to be ready for Tuesday game?
I think it's big. I think, just getting a break from each other, honestly, is going to be good. I think that's something that goes into these road trips. It's just kind of the same thing over and over again. You're either recovering and doing practice or you're warming up for your game. So for us, just having these 4 days to kind of, take time for ourselves and do whatever we need to do individually is going to be really good.
And then last one from me, Brianna Stewart today, 21 points, 15 rebounds. Is that just like old hat for you? Like, you're like, oh yeah, that's super normal, or is it still impressive, like every game that she kind of puts up those numbers?
I mean, it's always impressive when you see stuff like that. Like, that's like, as a player, you're trying to play as much as you can, and you see the stats that she gets, and it's just crazy that she can do that so consistently. But I've played with her, for a long time. I know that she's capable of that every single day.
Awesome. Thank you, Lou.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lou. You're all good.
Thanks.
And I believe we'll have Sue in here next. Just a reminder, we're going to try to go with one question and one follow-up. And if there's more time, we'll come back around. Hey, Sue. Thanks for being here. Just start off here with a question from Percy Allen. Go ahead, Percy.
Awesome. Hey, Sue Bird. Just curious about this team's ability to figure things out, to just figure it, when you're in the game, just kind of figuring out. And it seemed like this was one of those games, again, that you just kind of had to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really good trait to have as a team. Of course, you go in with a game plan and you would love to make every shot and have everything go your way, but that's not the reality of basketball, especially in the WNBA. So you have to have a mentality of what happens when things aren't going your way. What happens, when you can't get into a comfortable place. And I think tonight was a little bit like that. And so for us to kind of just at times make runs when we could and weather the storm that was Indiana tonight, I think we did a good job. So, I don't think there's anything special to tell you other than, it's a good trait to have as a team.
And then just to like that there, just the last run that you guys made, obviously it would seem that in a tight game, the team that makes that last run will be successful. 69-66, timeouts called, and then you guys hit them with a 10-1 run. I think it was started by Jewel, and then Stewie came in there. Just from your thoughts, what kind of happened during that run?
I think it actually was more getting the stops. That was a big part of it. I thought we did a great job down the stretch of rebounding. They took makeable shots, but we were able to take care of the boards. And then it was just a matter of, I think we've been in this position as a team, not this particular team, but obviously Stewie, myself, Jewel, so on and so forth. And we're gaining more confidence. The 2021 version of us is gaining more confidence in these moments. And it's things that we talk about. We talk about it in practice, just understanding that there's always going to be another opportunity. And you can't let what happened in the early stages of the game impact the end. And so for us to be able to focus, I thought, like I said, the rebounding was a big part of it. Defensively, offensively, we came down, we called some plays, we executed, we got the ball where we wanted. And then, you mentioned Stewie and Jewel, and they made great plays. They made shots. When you have two players like that, you just got to get the ball in their hands.
Sounds simple. I'm sure it's harder than that. All right, Sue, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Sue. Next one here from Jeff Brown. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, Sue. So to win 5 games in 8 days on the road is really impressive, no matter, what type of team you are. I guess, what does that say about this team, and what are you most impressed with?
Yeah, I mean, these road trips are unique in that, you play 2 different teams 2 times in a row. You're in the same city for, 5 or so days. And, there's something nice about that, and that you're not traveling around every other day. But it can actually get to you a little bit, because it's a little bit of Groundhog's Day. And, there's not much to do. A lot of places are closed given COVID. So you're just kind of stuck a little bit. And I think this type of trip could have easily gotten to us mentally. It just, like I said, it got very repetitive, and it could have gotten to us mentally. So for us to be able to focus when the ball got tipped, to go 5-0 on the road is tremendous, I think. But it's really just not letting that mental part of it get us down. I think, you sensed it a little bit in this game. Indiana, I understand what their record is. They're going to get someone. That's just the nature of this league. And tonight could have been the night that they got us. So I was just really proud of everyone that it wasn't necessarily our best game, but we found a way. And anytime you can do that on the road, on a really long road trip, and the last game of the trip, I think it speaks to the mentalities.
Definitely. And then I asked Coach Quinn this as well, but being the veteran leader of this team, how important is it now? You have a few days off before Tuesday's game against Washington, and how important is it as far as like rest? I guess the balance between rest versus working on stuff in practice and figuring out what needs to be fixed still.
Yeah, I mean, I have zero doubt that Noe's going to have a good game plan for us in the next couple of days. I think we do need rest. It'll be nice to have a day off. To be honest, it'll just be nice to be home. I think that'll be really good for everybody to recharge. Being home, it does wonders for you. So that part will be good. And then when we get back on the court, and we'll be ready to go. But I see what you're saying. The one good thing about playing every other day is you do stay in this like game mentality. You're in, it's not, I don't mean physical shape, right? I don't mean cardio, but you're in this like game shape. You're ready to go. So sometimes off days can change that, but at the same time you need them. So to your point, there'll be a balance, and we'll go from there.
Awesome. And just last one real quick from me. Coach Dan Hughes was there in the crowd we saw. Did you get to see him at all, or
No.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know he was there.
Yeah, they showed him on TV watching you guys. So that was pretty cool. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't get to see him.
Okay. Thanks, Sue.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Sue. We have one last one here from Christos Saltis. Go ahead.
Hello, Sue. Great game, first of all. In that 5-game stretch, how many steps in the right direction did you feel that you made as a team on and off the court? And how beneficial was that road trip about your chemistry as a team?
I think that, anytime you can win on the road in this league, it really helps you, because it's tough. It's tough. And I think we started off the trip against a really tough Atlanta team. Obviously playing Connecticut without JJ changed that a little bit, but regardless, these were 5 games in a row on the road, playing every other day. So I think for us, it just showed us kind of like what we're made of, and more so, like I mentioned earlier, more so mentally than physically, to be honest, to kind of, again, have it be so repetitive, but for us to show up every time, the ball got tipped was a really good sign. I think chemistry wise, yeah, it's true. On the road, you get to spend a little more time together. You might get to go to dinner more than you do at home, really just be around each other. So that's always good. It's I have nothing like to report in terms of that, other than usually those are moments where you can start to build some chemistry.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
That's it.
Thank you so much, Sue.